about the Tea Partiers? Are they in favor of this compromise that adds to the debt and makes big government even bigger? Joining me now is Representative Ron Paul, who is a Tea Party favorite, but has indicated this deal may be a necessary evil to avoid tax hikes right now. Congressman Paul, would you vote for this deal if it's the same legislation that has already cleared the Senate?
Yes, I will vote for it if it stays the same, because like you say, I don't want to raise taxes. And you know, there's a little bit of distortion in this debate because they are arguing, some who don't want to vote for it are arguing, well, there's a lot of extra spending in there.
Right.
But they count tax credits as spending, and I don't. Any tax credit or tax deduction is something I support.
Well, clearly the extension of unemployment benefits for 13 months, something the federal government has no business being involved in for even 1 day, much less 3 years, will add to spending.
Yeah, that is right, and that's $59 billion. Of course, they claim there's $178 billion worth of expenditures. Now, the thing of it is, you do have to weigh the two things. What will do the greatest harm? Raising taxes by $800 billion or spending this $60 billion? I'd have other ways of the transition, which I've talked about in the past. But you know, the other thing that's a fallacy in this debate is that if you cut these taxes or not allow these taxes to go up, you're going to have so much revenues. But that's not necessarily so. Sometimes when you reduce taxes, the revenues don't. The revenues aren't dependent on the tax code. I mean, if the economy weakens by raising taxes, they might not get the revenues. The deficit might be worse. This idea that you know exactly what the deficit is going to be if we don't pass this package, I don't think that's so, because it's not predictable.
I think you and I can see a merit to both sides of this argument, but we're getting a lot of indication that Tea Party Republicans, especially those not yet in the Congress, so obviously not yet in a position to vote, are fiercely against this, in large measure because they think it has spending in it that they don't want to spend. Is there a division amongst the sort of true blue, small government Republicans, with you on one side and Senator Jim DeMinta and a lot of young Tea Partiers on the other?
I think so, and it reflects the messiness of this place and how they legislate. So in order to get $60 billion worth of extension on unemployment benefits, you have to deal with $800 billion of taxes, whether you're going to increase them or not. It's a terrible choice. We shouldn't have to be doing this. All I know is $800 billion increase in taxes right now would be horrible to the economy. So not only will you see some division in the Tea Party people, look at these mainstream Republicans. You know, they're all over the place too. So it reflects the messiness of this place in their refusal to have up and down votes on the issues.
Let me tell you what my fear is, and you've seen this happen over and over again, that Mrs. Pelosi and company, who still control the House of Representatives, will add Christmas tree ornaments to this, earmarks, giveaways, whatever you want to call them. Stated differently, massive increases in spending in order to woo in certain Democratic constituencies. If she does that, will Ron Paul support this?
Well, it depends on what she does. I mean, if she adds $1 billion, it's hardly enough for me to give up $800 billion worth of tax reductions. So no, that wouldn't be enough. But what if they slipped in the deficit debt increase, which is the big vehicle for allowing this process to continue? That would probably be a killer for me. I'm not going to ever vote to increase the national debt. I never voted for any of these appropriation bills, so it puts me in a real tough position, because my position is I always will vote for lower taxes. But for some reason, I don't think that's going to happen, because the Senate didn't want it to happen, the President doesn't want it to happen, and she's going to get a fair number of support from Republicans. So that would be my guess.
How can you vote for the death tax? Do you see it as going from 55 down to 35, or as 0 up to 35?
Well, your first description is correct. For anybody to argue it's going from 0 up to 35 and I'm voting for that, that's wrong. If we don't do something, it's going up to 50. So I don't know why there's so much confusion on that, but I think it's on purpose. It's on purpose to divide and conquer, and split the ranks. But no, if we do nothing, it's going up to 50. So I'm voting from at 50 down to 35, and anytime I can reduce taxes, I will.
Got it. Congressman Paul, thanks for joining us. on Freedom Watch.
Thank you.
Our next guest is another Tea Party favorite, Congressman Paul Ryan of Wisconsin. He also supports the tax compromise plan.